Chances are you've been through at least one breakup in your life. Nobody finds them easy, but because of the way we're wired and our desire for connection, we can fall into traps that make breaking up even more difficult than it has to be. All breakups are different, and there are no set rules, but sometimes it's helpful to know what you really shouldn't be doing. 10 mistakes that can make a breakup feel even worse. 1. Actively seeking out the other person. In the immediate aftermath of a breakup, the massive sense of loss is likely to fall down on you pretty hard. Even if ending the relationship was your idea, you might not have realized how lonely it would feel knowing you don't have that person there for you anymore. This can mean people contact the other person and talk to them because the habit is so hard to break. Ex-partners might find themselves falling into their old conversations and even meeting up because it feels familiar. But this won't do you any favors in the long run, especially if things get physical again. 2. Not doing no contact. This isn't to say exes can't be friends. They can with enough time and if both people have strong boundaries, but people are impatient, and this can mean they don't take enough time to reflect and really get over the relationship. Sometimes people don't have the best intentions either, because they are impulsively reacting to the loss. This can make people behave quite strangely, like breaking into their ex's property, destroying their belongings, or coming up to them uninvited in the street. 3. Getting back out there too soon. It's not just the relationship you left behind that takes time. If you don't wait long enough before dating again, you'll probably be doing yourself a massive disservice. A lot of people, the minute they break up with someone, they are back out online again. That's not something I would recommend because you haven't given it any time to sink in. If you jump back into the dating scene too soon, you haven't given yourself a chance to learn from the experience or mourn the end of your relationship. So take a deep breath and allow yourself to take that time. People will always be looking to date, so you're not missing out on anyone if you don't re-download Hinge the next day. 4. Thinking dating apps will make you feel better. We live in a world of instant gratification, which is why it's so tempting to re-download your dating apps as soon as you find yourself single again. It's so easy to make a new profile and find people, and you get a hit of dopamine when you realize someone else has matched with you. This might boost your self-esteem in the short term. 5. Comparing your own experience to other people's. Everyone experiences the ups and downs of a relationship differently, and the same goes for breakups. If you feel like you're taking longer to get over your last relationship than your friends did, that's completely normal. Ultimately, you can't compare yourself to anyone else because your experience will be totally different. 6. Asking too many people for advice. Similarly, if you get advice from a lot of different people, this can confuse you even further. It's great to have a support network of people who will listen to you, but if they all offer their words of wisdom, you'll probably hear a lot of contradictory ideas. Friends will always give advice, usually conflicting advice, and ultimately the only person who knows what you need to do is you. Ask 10 people the same question and you'll get 10 different answers, but are any of them correct? 7. Social media stalking. Social media is more or less unavoidable, and your accounts may be littered with memories of your past relationship. As hard as it might be, the most popular advice is to delete your ex, or at least make sure you can't access their profiles easily. I think Facebook and social media in general can really trigger anger and grief, so I'm a big fan of restricting access or just unfollowing people if it's a difficult breakup. When you break up, suddenly you find yourself without the person who was always around. This is hard for your brain to deal with, so it will tempt you into just checking in on your ex. Essentially, you're just fueling your brain's need for this person, and you're prolonging the process of getting over them by social media stalking them. 8. Or even worse, a social media rampage. You might find you act in a fit of desperation after a breakup, especially if your ex is ignoring you. This can lead people to be frustrated and, frankly, a bit out of control. I think if you don't trust yourself to lock down your social media, you really should have a friend who can control access for the first few days so you don't impulsively do something publicly that will affect your career. 9. Minimizing the breakup. If the relationship was an abusive one, the time straight after the breakup is the most dangerous for the victim, and this continues for about a year. Many domestic violence victims minimize their risk during that time because they think the worst is over. The best thing is to find support and share your story with people you trust so you are as safe as possible. There are also organizations like the One Love Foundation that can offer advice for people in difficult situations. 10. Lining up someone new before your old relationship has even ended. Some people are simply useless at breakups. These are the people who ghost the dates they aren't interested in, or act cold and distant until their partner eventually gives up. Sometimes they are also codependent, so not only do they not have the courage to break up with someone properly, they also line up someone new before the relationship is even over. This will make your soon-to-be ex feel pretty bad when they find out, but also doesn't bode well for your new relationship. You won't have given yourself time to get over your ex, so even if the new person is perfect, it's not likely to work out.